I'm just going to bring you everywhere. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Before I begin, there is something very important that we need to do. Yes, I enjoy theater, and yes, you will see me get a little silly up here. It's okay. However, I always tell people if you feel silly doing it, then you're probably doing it right. So I'm going to ask you to step up right now. We have a birthday in the house, and I would like for Mr. Gordon King to please stand up. Oh, he's giving me that look. Oh no. And I would like for everyone at the top of your lungs to sing happy birthday to Gordon King, please. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gordon King. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'll sing you my special song. Are you ready? This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Happy birthday. All right. I would like to begin with a quote. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear, and I will permit it to pass over me and through me, and when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Frank Herbert. What an odd quote to start with. Why is she talking about fear? Well, allow me to explain. Again, my name is Joelle, and I was afraid to go to college. There were multiple reasons for it, but allow me to backtrack just a little bit. I was homeschooled my entire schooling. I loved it. For those of you that are, woo, homeschooler. It was great. Yay, homeschooler. Any other homeschoolers in the house? No? There's a couple. Get excited. Yay. I loved it. It was exactly what I needed, and I'm very, very thankful for it. But in my younger years, when I went into high school, my mother gave me the option. Joelle, would you like to go through a 3-year high school correspondence course, or would you like to do the harder one, which is 4 years? To give you a little bit of a perspective, I definitely chose the 3-year because I wanted out as soon as I possibly could, to tell you the truth. As soon as I was graduated at 17, I started traveling full-time with a drama company. I traveled all over the United States and overseas, and I did that until I moved to this area in 2008. Now, it has been explained to you that I am part of drama. Drama is in me. It's all around me. I love being on stage. I love being in front of people. Speaking is my profession, my God-given passion, and probably my pastime. So I appreciate you having me here. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is a great honor to be speaking to you today. Now, what would a speech be without a Webster dictionary explanation, right? So here's my plug. There you go. Webster explains fear as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Now, perhaps I didn't think that college would cause me pain or it was a threat or anything like that, but I had apprehensions. I've asked several of the students here today what were some of the apprehensions that they had going into college. I asked earlier this morning, and I've heard everything from just finding the time to do all of the work to being able to communicate with the professors and the uncertainty if they would be able to communicate on a level that would be understood with the professors. And of course, there's always finances. I felt much the same way with many of those apprehensions, and at 25, I decided to put myself back into school. So I took a placement test, as we all have, and I began to go to the new world of New River Community College. Now, as I mentioned, it was a concern of not being able to communicate with the professors. What is this? What am I doing? Why am I here? Perhaps perhaps you can relate when I talk about how I learned how to relax in a classroom with the hilarious sarcasm of Dr. Filer. Or perhaps the wonderful stories and real-life experiences of Dr. Graham Mitchell in psychology. Or perhaps you learned the patience and how a gentle word goes an incredible distance from Miss Bonnie Simmons, who we lost earlier this year. I came to New River Community College to challenge myself, but I learned from people. I met people that care. I met people that want to make a difference and want to see each one of us succeed. And that was made possible by many influential people that are sitting at our tables right here. So your work, your donations, goes far beyond the academics. It touches our lives in a way that learning life skills, yes, can only do, but it forms relationships. I can honestly say that some of my professors are my friends. Now, if all of the students would please turn to your scholarship donor or whomever is sitting at your table that has made this possible, I would like for you to look at them right in the eye and say, "You've made a difference. Go." Now, yes. Now, donors, I would like for you to look back at the students and go, "Yes, I did." You have truly made a difference that you will never know. We can sit here and thank you, and write you thank you notes. But you have changed lives. And we are forever grateful. I once heard a story, and I actually couldn't find it on the internet, which is kind of weird in this day and age, but I think I probably read it on Facebook at some point in time, so if it was actually one of your statuses and I'm not telling it correctly, I apologize. This is how I remember it. But there once was a little boy, and he was on a playground. He was standing on the bottom rung of the monkey bars, grasping the top. And he kept shaking his head and whispering to himself. The mother watched him from a distance, and finally she got curious, so she took a step forward. And she heard her little son say, "Grab it. Grab it now. Grab it. Just do it. Go." And she didn't interrupt him, but eventually he did take the rung of the monkey bar and travel across successfully. When he landed on the other side, she walked up to him and she said, "Hey, buddy, I am so proud of you. You did it. You grabbed those monkey bars like you told yourself. You were encouraging yourself. Good job." And the little boy looked at his mother and said, "Mommy, I wasn't telling myself to grab the monkey bars. I was telling myself to grab my fear. And I did." That story speaks volumes with me. For someone that waited X amount of years to go back to school, as some of you have done, it's a scary process. It's the unknown. How are we going to do this and juggle jobs at the same time, or teach at the same time, or have families at the same time? New River Community College is the best for a reason, because they make it possible. Scholarship donors, you have enabled many of us to grab our fear. Finances are not a joke. And the amount of stress that you have helped alleviate, well, let me just explain a little bit to you. When you're stressed, you're unable to sleep. We know this, right? Let's take it a little bit further. When you're stressed, your health declines, probably because you can't sleep. Your face breaks out. It's true. You might gain weight. You feel bad. You can't concentrate. You walk into class, you're more nervous. Now, the stress that comes from the finances, that was one of the number one causes of, oh man, going to college. Now take that away. You can sleep You don't have to work 3 jobs. And I remember from my own personal experience this semester when I walked up to the counter to pay my bill, and I promised I would not get emotional, but here I go. And I told myself, I'm going to go and I'm going to put down that money and I'm going to go to school this semester. I'm going to do it, as many of you have told yourselves. I walked up to the counter and they said, this is not a lie. She looked at me and said, it's paid in full. And I went, yes! It's true. Paid in full. And to me, that means sleep. That means that I can go home and I can study and I can concentrate and I can take my education further to a goal that I want to make. Now, I would like to speak to the fellow students directly. We should be proud of ourselves. We applied for a scholarship, we kept the grades up, and we showed aptitude. Now, we have to keep going. We have a responsibility not just to ourselves, but to these fabulous people that made it a possibility to continue. Study. Stay on top of your responsibilities and pay attention. Try. Now, I mentioned to you that I'm involved in theater, and it was mentioned to you before, but much of my life revolves around children. I've been teaching for quite a while now, and children, theater, and Jesus are my life. Love them. So if I have kids in the room, it makes my life better. So when I was preparing for this speech, I wanted to end with something that meant something to me, but something that I've also seen influence many children's lives. So I ask you right now to use your imaginations, to listen to a short story, and to just be thankful for what we've been given. This book is called The Dot by Peter Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a storm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker, gave the paper a good strong jab. There, she said. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. Vashti thought for a moment, well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. I know how she feels. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. Humph, I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted a yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many, many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, please, sign it. That story, I hope, resonates with you like it does with me. Remember that you are more than fear, students. You are a conqueror. I believe it, and obviously all of these people believe it. These scholarships have given us an opportunity and a sheet of paper. Now sign it. Thank you.